Ladies and gentlemen, children of grace and seekers of light, let me tell you something my grandmother once whispered to me as she rocked gently in her old wooden chair. Child, if you want something different, you must do something different. And oh, how right she was. Change is not a thunderstorm that rolls in without warning. It is a whisper, a nudge, a habit formed in the quiet hours of dawn. So let me speak to your soul today. Let me deliver truth wrapped in rhythm and wisdom dipped in honey, because there are 5 habits, 5 small hinges that can open the mighty doors of transformation in your life. Yes, beloved, change can come quickly, but only if you are willing to walk the path. Before the cock crows, before the dew dries from the petals of the rose, before the city begins to hum with the restless tapping of hurried feet, get up, child. Yes, you. Rise. Not because the world demands it, but because your soul is calling you to meet yourself in the quiet. In that gentle, holy hush before the day takes hold, you will find something rare and precious. Yourself. The early morning is not simply a time, it is a temple. It is not merely a beginning, it is a blessing. And oh, how many blessings we miss when we choose to slumber past the sacred hour. The world will give you its noise soon enough. The phone will ring. The emails will pile like bricks. The burdens, the voices, the expectations, they will all come knocking. But in the early morning, that is when God whispers. You see, when you rise before the world does, you are not just waking up, you are awakening. There's a difference, darling. One stirs the body, the other stirs the soul. One turns off an alarm clock, the other turns on the fire within you. The morning does not shout. It invites. It does not demand. It beckons. And only those who are willing to answer the call will drink from its sacred cup. I have sat with the morning like a friend. I have rocked in chairs that creaked with the wisdom of years. A hot cup of coffee warming my hands while the sun painted light on the walls of my memory. I have heard the birds testify and the breeze bear witness. And in those moments, before the world laid its claims upon me, I belonged to myself entirely, peacefully, powerfully. Child, the morning is your sanctuary. It is the time when heaven leans in close to see what you will do with the day. And if you are wise, if you are brave, if you are ready, you will rise, not just to begin your tasks, but to begin again, to start not just the day, but your becoming. There is something revolutionary about rising early, not for obligation, but for intention. The world teaches us to wake up rushing, to stumble from our beds into chaos. But I tell you, take your time, sit with your thoughts, stretch your limbs like a tree awakening from slumber. Thank God for breath. Thank Him again for purpose. And then sit in the stillness and let your mind be washed clean of yesterday's fears. It is in this hour that the divine speaks most clearly. Because you are not distracted. You are not performing. You are not pleasing anyone but the one who formed you. This is when clarity comes in like a fresh wind. This is when ideas are born that will carry you through trials. This is when strength settles in your bones. And don't let anyone tell you that rising early is about being busy. No, child, it is about being ready. Ready to receive, ready to respond, ready to reign over your day instead of letting it reign over you. There is power in starting before the noise starts, before the negativity seeps in, before the doubts start dancing in your mind. When you rise early, you're saying to the world, I will not be conquered today. I will not live by default. I will live by design. You may sit down with a journal, scribbling your prayers and dreams in crooked handwriting, or you may hum a hymn passed down from your grandmother's lips to your memory. You may light a candle, or simply sit with the light that is already within you. However you rise. Rise with reverence. Rise with purpose. Rise knowing that each morning is not just a reset, it is a resurrection. Oh, my dear one, hear me clearly. You cannot transform your life if you continue to sleep through the hours when transformation is most possible. The early morning is the hour of the prophets, the dreamers, the builders. It is the hour when kings and queens dress themselves in silence before wearing the weight of their crown. If you want to change your life quickly, start with how you greet the day. Not with dread, not with delay, but with devotion. Let your first breath be gratitude. Let your first words be prayer. Let your first step be holy, for the sun rises slowly, and so should you, gracefully, gratefully, gloriously. So tomorrow, when the dark begins to blush and the birds begin to gossip about the coming dawn, rise, not for work, not for duty, but for destiny. Because the morning is not just another part of the day. It is your inheritance, your invitation, your becoming. Now rise, child, rise. There is a quiet power in the words we speak, an invisible hand that shapes the world around us, yes, but more dangerously and more divinely, the world within us. You see, beloved, every syllable we utter becomes a seed, and those seeds, they grow into beliefs, into habits, into lives. Some of us are walking through gardens we did not mean to plant, but we watered them with our own tongue. So I say unto you now, with the gravity of thunder and the softness of gospel, speak life over yourself. Speak it even when your voice shakes. Speak it especially when your knees are bent and your back is burdened. For the world is eager to define you, to assign you a worth based on your mistakes or your struggles or your skin or your scars. But child, don't you dare let the world finish the sentence God started in you. Words are not merely sounds. They are tools. They are bricks or bulldozers. They either build you up or break you down. And too often we hand ourselves over to destruction with phrases like, I can't, or I'm not enough, or nobody loves me. Hear me now, those words do not belong to you. They are trespasses in the temple of your being. Cast them out. Shut the door. For what you speak over yourself is what you begin to believe. And what you believe becomes the blueprint for how you live. If you wake up every day and tell yourself you are tired, unloved, unworthy, then that becomes your lens, your truth, your prison. But when you begin to speak light, when you begin to declare goodness, even when all around you is dim, that is when change begins. Stand before your mirror, not just to fix your face or your hair, but to remember your divinity. Look into your own eyes, not with judgment, but with awe. Speak not as a beggar, but as a beloved child of the Almighty. Say, I am becoming. I am whole. I am not where I want to be, but thank God I am not where I used to be. Because every time you affirm your worth, you silence a lie. Every time you say, I am capable, you throw a brick in the foundation of your destiny. Every time you whisper, I am loved, you send ripples through every ounce of pain that ever told you otherwise. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not magic. Speaking life doesn't erase the storm, but it gives you the strength to build a house in the rain. It gives you a fire when the world tries to leave you in cold places. It gives you dignity when the day tries to rob you of joy. Your voice is holy. Use it wisely. When you rise in the morning, let your first words be wrapped in gratitude. When you speak to yourself in struggle, let your tone carry kindness. Talk to your soul like you would talk to a friend who is grieving, not with cruelty, but with compassion. You're doing well, sweetheart. You made it through another day. You're learning, you're healing, you're growing. And don't just speak life privately. Speak it loudly, boldly. Declare it until the echoes reach the ears of doubt and shut them up for good. Speak it when you feel it. Speak it when you don't. Speak it until it becomes second nature, like breathing, like blinking, like believing, because life and death, the good book says, are in the power of the tongue. And I believe that. I've lived that. I've walked through days when the only thing that kept me upright was a single, simple truth I dared to repeat. I still matter. And child, you do. You do matter, even when they overlook you, even when you overlook yourself. You are not your mistake. You are not your past. You are not the broken pieces. You are the mosaic, the masterpiece. The rising sun after the longest night. And when you begin to speak to yourself like that, your posture changes. Your decisions change. Your whole life starts turning toward the light. So promise me this, you will never again curse your own name. You will not speak defeat into your dreams. You will not wrap shame in clever words and call it honesty. No, you will speak beauty. You will speak power. You will speak with the authority of someone whose breath is borrowed from the Creator himself. Let your voice be your revival. Let your words water your soul. Speak like your ancestors are listening. Speak like your children are watching. Speak like the future depends on it. Because, sweet child, it does. You were not made to merely survive. You were made to speak life. And in doing so, you will live life fully, freely, fabulously. Now go ahead, say something good about yourself. I'll wait. There comes a time in every life when you must decide what your peace is worth. And, oh, my darling, let me tell you, it is worth everything. Yes, more than silver, more than applause, more than titles or likes or loud companions with hollow hearts. Peace is not a luxury. Peace is a necessity. It is the soft bed for your weary soul. It is the hush in the storm. It is the whisper of God telling you, you are safe here. Yet so many of us spend our days handing out pieces of our peace like pennies on the street, giving it to people who haven't earned it, to situations that don't deserve it, to arguments that only drain us and never fill us. But baby, you don't have to go broke buying the approval of those who never invested in your spirit. You don't have to sit in rooms where your name gets twisted like a rag. You don't have to stay in the presence of those who disturb your calm just to feel important. Protect your peace like a lioness protects her cubs, with ferocity, with vigilance, with unwavering love. Because peace is fragile. It can slip away quietly in the night, stolen by toxic words, by relentless noise, by people who do not know how to treat a soul as tender and as mighty as yours. You see, there is holiness in silence. There is power in solitude. There is a fierce, sacred kind of strength that grows when you step away from the noise, from the crowd, from the chaos of comparison. Some folks believe peace is passive, but I tell you, it is the most active fight you'll ever take up. Because peace doesn't just happen. It must be claimed. There will be voices, loud and persuasive, that try to pull you into petty wars. Some will hand you swords made of shame and tell you to fight for their attention. Others will throw stones at your name just to see if you'll bleed. And still, there will be places that once felt safe but now carry the scent of sorrow and resentment. Walk away. Yes, I said it. Walk. Away not out of weakness but out of wisdom. You owe no one the sacrifice of your sanity. You owe no one access to your sacred space if they keep bringing their confusion and calling it companionship. We have been taught, especially as women, as believers, as kind-hearted souls, that turning the other cheek means turning down our discernment. But no, child, discernment is divine. If the energy in the room makes your shoulders rise and your spirit shrink, leave the room. If the conversation dulls your light and awakens your anxiety, end the conversation. You do not have to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. That is not kindness. That is bondage. You see, peace is not the absence of sound. Peace is the presence of understanding, the understanding of who you are, what you deserve, and what you must no longer allow. Guard your peace in the morning, before the world floods in with its opinions, its tragedies, its ticking clocks. Take a moment, just for you. Sit with your coffee, your journal, your God. Breathe before the demands begin. Wrap yourself in stillness before the storm has a chance to rise. That is how you build strength. That is how you make sure you are responding from love and not reacting from exhaustion. And in the evening, oh yes, protect it then too. Close your day with gratitude, not gossip. Choose quiet over clutter. Choose prayer over panic. Lay your burdens down and do not pick up someone else's unless your heart is strong enough to hold it without losing your own. Let your boundaries be you are not cruel for protecting yourself. You are not selfish for needing space. You are not cold for stepping back when the fire gets too hot. You are wise. You are learning. You are growing into the kind of person who chooses peace, not because the world is easy, but because your soul is sacred. And remember, peace is not something you find outside. It is something you plant within. And every time you say no to drama, no to distractions, no to things that dishonor your spirit, you are watering that garden, one decision at a time. So if you must block the number, block it. If you must leave the job, leave it. If you must sit in silence rather than speak just to fill the air, sit. Choose you. Choose peace. Choose presence over performance. Choose being whole over being liked. You are allowed to be both kind and firm, gentle and guarded, loving and discerning, because the one who holds peace holds power. And you, my sweet child, were never meant to live at the mercy of noise. You were born to rise in stillness, to move with grace, to rest in truth. Oh, protect it. Wrap your peace around you like a shawl made of starlight and ancestors' prayers, and walk on. There is a still, sacred kind of power that comes when a person stops merely moving through life and begins living with intention. Oh yes, child, there is a difference between going through the motions and moving with purpose. And the moment you begin to live on purpose with purpose, you shift the atmosphere around you. You become like the rising sun, undeniable, radiant, and unwavering in your direction. So many people wander. They wake, they work, they weep, they wait. But they don't live, not really, because living requires something more than breath. It requires direction. It requires that you stop letting life just happen to you and begin creating the life that calls to your soul, the life that your spirit already knows it was born for. You see, you are not a leaf to be carried by every gust of wind. You are not a shadow to be shaped by someone else's light. No, baby. You are the light. You are the wind. You are the one the world has been waiting for, if only you would choose to walk boldly in your why. Living intentionally means asking yourself not just, what do I have to do today, but why am I doing it? It means waking up and not only putting on your clothes, but putting on your calling, wearing it like armor, carrying it like fire. It means you don't waste your words, your energy, your time, or your prayers on things that do not build the life you were created to live. You are not too young, too old, too late, too lost to start again, to pause, to pivot, to press forward with purpose. I know the world moves fast. It pushes, it pulls, it distracts you with its noise and glitters and endless scrolling. But Hashta, come sit a while. Let your soul speak to you. Let it remind you what matters. Because intention is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is not about doing everything right. It is about doing the right things for your spirit, for your peace, for your purpose. What do you value? What makes your soul come alive? When's the last time you created something, not for applause, not for validation, but for the joy of it? When was the last time you said yes to something that scared you but grew you? When did you last say no to something that looked good but didn't feel good? Living intentionally means choosing with clarity, choosing who gets your time, choosing what gets your energy, only choosing how you spend your days, because your days are your life in pieces, and they pass by whether you are watching or not. And let me tell you something, honey. You don't need anyone's permission to live with purpose. You don't need a title, a degree, a following, or a crowd. All you need is willingness. The willingness to live deliberately, to stop sleepwalking through your days, to look yourself in the mirror and say, today I will not just survive. Today I will live on purpose. When you live with intention, you stop chasing what isn't yours. You stop comparing your path to someone else's. You stop apologizing for being who you are, because you know what's for you won't miss you. And what misses you was never yours to begin with. Living intentionally also means loving intentionally, speaking with care, listening with your heart, offering grace where once you offered judgment. It means knowing your words carry weight and your presence has power. It means choosing kindness when the world chooses cruelty, choosing patience when the moment tries to rush you, choosing to leave people better than you found them. It also means letting go of what no longer fits your future. Letting go of dreams that were born in survival but cannot live in freedom. Letting go of guilt, of shame, of the need to prove your worth. You already are worthy, baby. Just by breathing, just by being, just by bearing the image of God. Intention is the bridge between where you are and where you're called to be. It is the difference between wandering and walking, between existing and becoming. So light your candle, say your prayer, write your plan, tend to your spirit, choose what you consume, create your mornings like rituals, honor your evenings like they're holy, speak to your soul like it's listening, because it is. Every step you take in intention echoes through eternity. You will not always get it right. You will fall. You will question. You will be tempted to go back to autopilot. But hear me now. Keep coming back. Keep choosing to live like it matters, because it does. You matter, and your life, when lived with intention, becomes a testimony, a melody, a movement. A miracle lies with purpose, my dear lion. Like your very existence is a declaration, because it is.